What's up, guys? Welcome to the line change. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down and recapping game one of the Calder Cup Finals between the Abbotsford Canucks and the Charlotte Checkers. But before I do that, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to my sponsor, Gassy Jack Art, the guy who made that artwork you see there in the back there. So I want to give a big thank you to Gassy Jack Art. And Gassy Jack Art produces hockey prints on archival paper and canvas that have been rated to last over 100 years. Their product range features a variety of players from different teams, including the Edmonton Oilers, Montreal Canadiens, Toronto Maple Leafs, Calgary Flames, Colorado Avalanche, and your Vancouver Canucks, and more. And they also have non-hockey related prints as well. They have some wrestling prints, some film prints as well. So go ahead, check them out, GassyJackArt.com. Currently, they have their end of season sale still going on, where you can buy 2 prints and get an additional 2 for free. So basically, what you have to do is you need to add 4 prints to your cart. And then when you get to the checkout, 2 of them will be for free. It is one heck of a deal. It's a steal of a deal, as these prints are range between $20 and $25. And that Quinn Hughes one you see in the picture there, that one was 25, and the rest are 20. So go ahead and check them out. Take advantage of this deal while you can, as I'm not sure how much longer it will be going on for. It is a steal of a deal. I myself have taken advantage of this deal, and just this artwork is incredibly detailed. Jack is absolutely incredible with the artwork that he does. So go ahead and check him out. Get yours today, and trust me, you're not gonna regret your decision. As I mentioned, these can last up to 100 years. So definitely check him out, GassyJackArt.com. You can also find Jack on Instagram at GassyJackArt. So go ahead and check him out. Now, to our recap. Let's go ahead and check out Canucks Army. As always, our friend Dave Hall does the breakdown and recap for us. So let's go ahead and just dive right into it. No team has logged more playoff miles than the Abbotsford Canucks, logging 4 grueling rounds from teams all over Western North America. They've now landed in Charlotte's Bojangles' Coliseum, facing a Charlotte Checkers team that's been a buzzsaw, tearing through the Eastern Conference with an 8-game win streak and 2 straight series sweeps. For the Canucks, it's about cementing their incredible 2024-25 story after a stunning second-half run that now includes 13 postseason victories. For the Checkers, it's about keeping their home ice untouchable and flexing their well-rested firepower. The muggy Charlotte air and a sold-out crowd set the stage for a chaotic double overtime thriller, capped by a clutch snipe from a hero making a name for himself as Mr. Clutch. It was far from a pretty game, but the Canucks clawed back for a victory in a game they may not have had any business being in the first place. From being outplayed to dodging an oddball call to a 51-save bounce-back performance from Archer Seelovs, this game had it all. Let's start off and go through our starting lineup. With most of the lineup predicted, the primary focus revolved around the rookie forward Jonathan Lekaramaki, whether he'd be included in the lineup for Game 1. But after defeating the Texas Stars in 6 games, Manny Malhotra chose to stick with a winning formula. That meant Danila Klimovic remained in the top 6, while more mature and perhaps more equipped for bottom 6 deployment forwards, such as Dino Gambites, were stuck on the 4th line. As expected, Archer Seelovs got the nod between the pipes. So your first line, you had Di Giuseppe, Sasson, and Carlson. Your second line, Baines, Mueller, and Klimovic. Your third line, Blais, Kara, and Smith. Your fourth line, Nielsen, Waters, and Gambites. Your first D pairing was Brisebois and Mancini, and then Wolanin and Wu, and then Hirose and Kuzatsev, and of course, as we mentioned, Archer Seelovs in net. Let's take a look at the first period. The game opened with both teams feeling each other out, trading sloppy passes in a neutral zone stalemate. Charlotte, rusty from a 2-week layoff, looked off, but the Canucks weren't much sharper. But once the lines began to roll, tensions seemed to ease and the game opened up and provided good entertainment for the Bojangles faithful. Sammy Blais broke the ice with the game's first shot, following a good cycle down low in the offensive zone. Blais picked up the series' opening shot at the net front, sending a shot up high on Checkers' netminder Capo Kakinen. Standing tall to catch it in the chest, the Checkers countered as Jesse Puljujarvi torched rookie Kirill Kudryavtsev wide. But Artur Silovs was there to flash a spectacular glove save, channeling his inner Patrick Waugh to show the puck to the crowd. That stop sparked Abbotsford just moments later, Trevor Carrick's cross-check handed them a power play. The first minute of the advantage was shaky, lost pucks, botched entries, but the Canucks turned things around quickly. Abbotsford would score to make it 1-0. Max Sasson from Sammy Blais and Kirill Kudryavtsev. Kirill Kudryavtsev brought the play up the ice, dropping the puck to a streaking Max Sasson. Sasson dropped it to Sammy Blais, who made a tremendous and patient play around the defender to test Kakinen. Unable to handle the initial shot, Sasson banged home the rebound to open the series' scoring and silence the crowd early in Game 1. The visiting team was only able to enjoy their high for a short time as Mackenzie Entwistle struck back quickly to tear away any momentum gained by the Canucks. Charlotte would score to make it 1-1. Entwistle from Puljujarvi and Kierstead, breaking up the ice off a Puljujarvi chip play. Entwistle used an Abbotsford defender as a shield, sniping short side past a screen Silovs to tie it 1-1. And the pain deepened when Danila Klimovic's high stick drew blood just seconds off the ensuing faceoff, earning a 4-minute double minor. With all the buzz of scoring an equalizer goal, their first goal in weeks, Charlotte's power play would go to work for the first time. The Checkers unleashed 6 shots, pinging a post, but Silovs stood tall. While they failed to score, the combination of a goal and the man advantage struck life into the building, and that game fell into the hands of the home team. With a 14-8 shot advantage through 20 minutes, the Canucks truly felt as if they were hanging on to their Game 1 lives. Muggy weather conditions certainly did not help their case, as pucks were bouncing uncontrollably, leading to several odd man chances and close calls. One issue when facing unfamiliar enemies is the uncertainty of citations, including the opposing team's unknown arena conditions. But the Canucks held on, nearly coming out of the period unscathed. That was until the final seconds when the entire line elected for an untimely line change, setting up for an unnecessary charge the other way. That late Canucks line change allowed Michael Benning to spring Oliver Ocular free, fighting and unexpected Guillaume Brisebois fighting for position. Charlotte would score to make it 2-1. Ocular from Benning and Kierstead. His seemingly harmless shot beat Silovs clean, handing Charlotte a 2-1 lead and a dagger to close the period. It was a very tough ending to a period where the Canucks would have felt lucky to head down the tunnel even. Breakouts were short, defenders were getting burned, and the goalie allowed 2 goals off long-distance shots. Final shots in the first period were 14-8 in favor of Charlotte. Let's take a look at the second period. The middle frame didn't start much better for Abbotsford, who looked stuck in quicksand for much of the frame. Breakouts fizzled, and the Canucks spent the first 5 minutes pinned in their zone, unable to clear the puck and gasping for air. With nothing but momentum on their side, the Checkers smelled blood, and Justin Sordiv, the former Vancouver Giants, pounced to make them pay. Charlotte would score to make it 3-1. Sordiv from Chris Kuolo off another botched clear, a common occurrence through the first half of the period. Sordiv's long-range shot sailed high past Silovs, pushing the lead to 3-1. The Latvian netminder, a playoff here up to this point, looked mortal with all 3 goals beating him clean from stoppable shots. But these Abbotsford Canucks are resilient and down, but not out, and they refused to let up on the game as the Canucks found a pulse just moments later. Abbotsford would score to make it 3-2. Nate Smith from Sammy Blais. Creeping behind the back end was Nate Smith, who collected the perfect breakout dish, splitting the defense and going all alone on the netminder. One-on-one with Kakinen, Smith lofted a beauty over the goalie's shoulder, trimming the gap to 3-2 and quieting the roaring crowd. That was Abbotsford's only shot through 11 minutes, a stark contrast to Charlotte's early second period barrage. After swapping penalties, the Canucks were awarded with a 4-minute power play midway through the period, giving Abbotsford a prime opportunity to tie. and Blay nearly did, pulling a stick curl and drag to beat Kakkonen, only to clang the crossbar. But the period wasn't done. With time winding down, the Canucks evened the score early, with Wolanin making the cross-ice attempt. The puck ricocheted off the defender's skate, nearly beating Kakkonen with the redirect. Saving the day was former Canuck William Lockwood, who hauled down Sasson to send the Canucks on the late power play. With time winding down, sort of stripped the puck and jumped out to the races, providing solid back pressure was Kirill Kuznetsov, but Silovs was forced to make an incredible stretch save to keep his team within one goal. The Canucks survived the period's defensive slog, but not without drama. Somehow clawing back, they managed to take a one-goal deficit into the dressing room. Up to this point, this was a win in itself, considering the performance on the ice. After two periods, the shots were 26-15 in favor of Charlotte. Let's take a look at the third period now. Carrying a late second period spark, the Canucks opened the third on a power play, but managed just one shot and failed to threaten. One thing to note from the Checkers during this postseason run is their incredible track record for shorthanded goals. Heading into Game 1, they had scored a league-leading 6 shorthanded goals, and that tracked in this game. Playing extremely aggressively, they pushed the Canucks for several shorthanded looks. Whether it be clear-cut breakaways or high-danger chances off the rush, the Checkers were pressuring down a man. While it's something the Canucks were likely brought up to speed on, they experienced firsthand just how dangerous these Checkers can be. As the power play expired, Tristan Nielsen seized the puck from Ty Mueller. He went wide and dropped a shoulder for the game's first true power move, signaling a potential shift in the game's momentum. And that's precisely what it was. The third was Abbotsford's best period yet, and midway through, the promising start eventually led to something Abbotsford would score to tie it up and make it 3-3. Ty Mueller from Tristan Nielsen. Ty Mueller intercepted a failed Charlotte breakout to gain the zone. He played give and go with Nielsen, who threaded it back. Battling out front, Mueller managed to get a stick on the puck and chipped in past Kakkonen with his pitching wedge to even the score at 3-3, turning a playoff low start into a dead even battle. From that point on, it was all Canucks as the ice tilted towards Charlotte's end, with Abbotsford dictating play. A sixth power play offered a go-ahead chance, but Charlotte's aggressive penalty kill nearly struck again, generating breakaways that Silovs snuffed out. The Canucks' strongest frame forced overtime, proving their grit. Despite being outplayed in one of the worst efforts early on, the Canucks turned the dial for the third and crawled back into this game to take it to extra time. By this point, it was nearly impossible to predict what would happen. Would the team with nearly 2 weeks of rest prevail, or would it be a Canucks team that has grinded through 4 consecutive rounds of playoff hockey? After 3 periods, the shots were 31-23 in favor of Charlotte. Let's take a look at the first overtime. First overtime was a chess match with no shots through 7 minutes as both teams played mistake-free hockey. Danila Klimovich broke the full, ripping a one-timer off a Linus Karlsson feed in the slot, only to ping the post. Abbotsford's first shot finally came at 11:31, but tension spiked when Phil Di Giuseppe's high sticking penalty at 13:45 put them on the kill. Charlotte pressed, forcing Silovs to make his best saves of the night. Meanwhile, Ty Mueller nearly won it shorthanded, stealing a puck and going forehand, backhand, only to be denied by Kakkonen's 5-hole pad. With the 2 power plays to work with, the Checkers grabbed back all momentum and enjoyed a ridiculous 16-3 shooting advantage in overtime. Suddenly, what began as an off night for Artur Silovs has morphed into a night for the ages, with 47 shots faced up to that point. After the first overtime, the shots were 47-26 in favor of Charlotte. Let's take a look at double OT. Double overtime felt destined for an unlikely hero, and it nearly got a bizarre one. Brace yourself, folks. You may never see this again. Just before the 4-minute mark, a faceoff to Silovs' right was scheduled to drop, with all players dipping down with their game faces on. The problem was that Artur Silovs was in his own world, enjoying a quick refill on his water after over 4 hard-fought periods. Unaware that the netminder was facing the net, the linesman dropped the puck, which was won cleanly by Ty Mueller, too cleanly. The puck zipped past a water-sipping Silovs. The Checkers' bench erupted, and the crowd roared as this one was over in their eyes. However, in a rare AHL call, the referees deliberated before waving off the goal, ruling that Silovs was unprepared. This sent Bojangles' fans into a booing frenzy. From then on, every Seelov's touch drew jeers, only amplifying when he stoned Charlotte's next chances. And Seelov's was touching the puck all right. That overturned call flipped the script. Frustrated, the Checkers took a delay of game penalty moments later, and Abbotsford pounced. Abbotsford would score to win it in double overtime. Danila Klimovich from Max Sasson, after a commendable dig in the corner, Klimovich circled below the goal line and fired a sharp angle shot that caught Kakinen off guard, sealing a 4-3 victory for the second double overtime game-winning goal in the last 4 games. The Canucks' bench exploded, stealing Game 1 on the road in one of the wildest finishes of the postseason. It was the perfect ending to an oddball game that saw a little bit of everything. Despite being outplayed for most of the first half and an overtime period, the Canucks stole Game 1 and entered Sunday with a sneaky 1-0 series lead. Final shots after, 2 overtime periods, technically 5 periods, 54-30 in favor of Charlotte. Final thoughts. What a way to open the Calder Cup Finals. The Abbotsford Canucks battle-tested through 4 grueling rounds, stared down a 3-1 deficit, a hostile crowd, and their own early blunders to pull off a double overtime stunner. Klimovich's clutch snipe and Archer Seelov's 51 saves, including clutch stops in overtime, got things done in the end. While the Canucks may have been outplayed, they came up big when asked and went a perfect 5-for-5 on the penalty kill while scoring 2 power play goals of their own. Special teams are always big, and tonight that proved it all. As they say, they don't ask how. Charlotte's 8-game streak and home ice record made them formidable, but the Canucks' resilience shone brighter. And that overturned own goal, it's a bizarre twist that will live in the American League history books forever as everybody feverishly searches the rulebook for an official ruling. With Game 2 looming, Abbotsford has a chance to tighten its grip, but the Checkers won't go quietly. Here's Manny Malhotra himself post-game. I can't say it enough about our group, how resilient they are in terms of finding a way to get things done. What's next? Game 2 is scheduled for a Father's Day Sunday afternoon bout with puck drop at 1 p.m. Pacific at the Bojangles Coliseum. So keep that in mind. It's a 1 p.m. Pacific start for Game 2 between Abby and the Charlotte Checkers. But that's going to do it for this video and for this breakdown and recap. Once again, if you guys like this video, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date on all Canucks content, whether that's Abbotsford Canucks or the Vancouver Canucks, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. You can find us on social media. Find us on Facebook. Just search The Line Change to find our Facebook page. You can find us on Instagram at The Line Change. You can find us on X at Line Change Van. You can find us on TikTok at the.line.change.po. And feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. If you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Once again, feel free to give us a follow on Spotify as well as rate and review us. It's greatly appreciated. But that's going to do it for me and in this video. As always, let's go Canucks. Let's go Abby Canucks. And I'll see you guys in the next video.